We can go to some scriptures in regards to the Sabbath day. We'll start at Nehemiah, the 9th chapter. So the topic is the 12-hour Sabbath day doctrine is the devil doctrine. Okay, so you got Israelites be pushing that the Sabbath only deals with 12 hours in a day. And that's not the scriptures. Okay, so we're going to deal with the fourth commandment, keeping of the Sabbath day. We got to recognize what time it is. Okay, that's why the Lord be showing us what time it is. It's His Sabbath. We to honor Him, right? Not doing our own pleasures, as far as working and cooking and buying and selling, doing business transactions. We to be focused on serving the Most High in Christ and understand why we here, why we being called, and be ye thankful because the Lord showed us mercy. He didn't have to wake none of us up. Okay, we could be still in that world, cutting up, acting a fool. Okay, but through the mercies of the Lord, He got us here. Today is His Sabbath day. So we want to start at Nehemiah 9. We'll get into how the 12-hour Sabbath day is a devil doctrine. Okay? We keep the Sabbath, so-called Friday, at even to so-called Saturday at even, sundown. 24 hours. Okay? Not 12 hours in the day. We're missing it. Again, that's somebody leaning on their own understanding because they're entertaining the devil. So we're at Nehemiah 9, right? That's where we'll start. I'll get you the verse. Brothers is fired up, already there. Okay. Nehemiah 9 and 13. That's where we'll start. Nehemiah, the 9th chapter, the 13th verse. It said, Thou camest down also upon Mount Sinai, and spaketh with them, is Israel, the 12 tribes, and spaketh with them from heaven, and gavest them right judgments, meaning righteous judgments, and true laws, and good statutes, and commandments. So the Most High came down at Mount Sinai. He went through 4 gates. And He gave His nation, the chosen nation, the children of Israel, His commandments. He didn't give us religion. All right? Religion is man-made. It's of the devil. The Lord gave our nation commandments to keep. That was our wisdom. As we speak, the commandments of the Most High Christ, that's the wisdom. It said, and made it known unto them, meaning unto Israel, Thy holy Sabbath. That's key. So right there, when the Most High came down and He spoke to our nation, He made known to us the holy Sabbath. Okay? So what is Nehemiah in the book of Nehemiah taking us back to? Creation.
Taking us back, we were in the book. When Moses went up, 40 days, 40 nights, came down with the law, and gave Israel the law on the Sabbath.
Okay, what are you going to say, Anya?
Well, he's taking them back to when Moses delivered the commandments to Israel. Exodus 20.
Thank you. That's right. We're going to get in the habit of using the script. Use the scriptures to answer. Things be right, but stay in the Bible.
That's right.
Because it gave us the answer in Exodus, Nehemiah 9 and 13.
Yeah.
Thou camest down also upon Mount Sinai, and spakest with them from heaven, and gavest them right judgments and true laws, good statutes and judgments and commandments, and madest known unto them thy holy Sabbath, and commandest them precepts, statutes, and laws by the hand of Moses thy servant. So it's taking us back to Exodus 20, right? So that's what we got to get at, Exodus 20. Because the Most High spake to us in Exodus 20. Moses wasn't speaking to us during that time in Exodus 20. Okay? Exodus 20. And 8. Exodus 20 and 8. So who's speaking right here? Who's going to speak to us? Or who was speaking? The Most High, right? So this Exodus 20 and 8, it says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So this is the Most High speaking. And he's telling our nation, 12 tribes, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Sabbath means rest. 6 days shall thou labor. So right there, the Most High is very specific. He's saying 6 days. When he's saying 6 days, what type of days is he talking about?
An ordinary day.
Not ordinary. 6 days, they're ordinary days, right?
Right.
But 6 days meaning what? Half a day?
No,
Full,
full
24
day,
hours.
20.
6
Even
whole
to even.
days.
Even to even.
So we ain't getting confused. 6 whole days, right? We was to do what?
Work.
Labor, work. So the Lord will give us 6 whole days to work. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How we jacking up one day? And we got 6 whole days.
Lust.
Something is wrong. You see? 6 days should I labor. Israel be out there following these pastors and whatnot. Pastors say to them, the Sabbath is every day. What's that right there? Rebellion. That's religion again, right? Idolatry. See, the Sabbath is not every day. The Lord created ordinary days and high holy days, right? The Sabbath being a high holy day. One day, full day. So-called Friday and even so-called Saturday, right? Even. That's the Sabbath. We say so-called because the Lord didn't give days such as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Israel tried to come and check you on that. How you know Saturday? See, y'all following this so-called European. Brothers, listen. Weeks ain't changed. Okay? Since the beginning. We're going to get these scriptures. There's been 7 days in a week. Right?
Right.
So let's keep that clear. So let's say 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. And it was the it.
That's 7 days.
That 7th day,
Sabbath.
which is the Sabbath. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So right there, the Most High is taking us back to creation. But you see how what Nehemiah was talking about, how the Lord, he made known his Sabbath day unto our nation. Right here at Mount Sinai, right?
Right.
This was a special meeting between our God, the Most High, Yahweh, and the children of Israel. Okay? So we was always supposed to remember this assembly right here, right or wrong.
Right.
Even the children. They tell us that in Deuteronomy 4. They supposed to know about this meeting here. That's right. That's right. So now let's go to Genesis. So we backtracking. So this so-called European, he come with evolution, his science, and the Big Bang Theory, and all that foolishness is to discredit creation, discredit Genesis. If you can discredit the first page, Genesis, then the whole Bible collapses, right?
Correct.
But if you can destroy evolution with these scriptures, guess what? Then we got to deal with the whole book. And that's what we're dealing with, the book. And we're supposed to believe in the whole book, not half a book. You got man teaching. You might as well just do away with Genesis to Malachi and all that. The Lord ain't dealing with that. What are you talking about? Christ come in the volume of the book. You try to do away with Christ. That ain't happening. So it's Genesis 1:1, right? It says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So right off the bat, Moses, who wrote the first 5 books, is bringing out how the Godhead created the heaven and the earth. Who was the Godhead? The Most High and his Son, Jesus Christ. It was Christ who was given the authority to go and deal with creation. That's according to St. John 1:1-3. Right? You could also read St. John 17:3. How Christ was in the beginning with the Father. You understand? Verse 2 says, and the earth was without form. What does that mean? The earth was without form.
Void. It's a void right now.
Void.
I was going to say void too.
Okay. It said the earth was without form and void. So what did it mean without form? Go ahead, Levi.
It was nothing.
It was nothing? Okay. What you mean nothing?
Like it wasn't
I don't understand where you're coming from, huh?
Like it wasn't created yet.
Without form, right? Okay, what are you going to say, brother?
Well, the earth was not yet formed when it created.
Right. So it didn't have a shape yet. It had elements. It was, and void was just dark, deep, dark space. Right? So we ain't even going to start dealing with this flat earth crap. Some other wickedness. Some new age devil doctrine. Anything pop up pertaining to the devil, a lot of our people jump right into it.
Bandwagon.
All right. So it say the earth was without form and void, and darkness. See, that was upon the face of the deep. It was this deep darkness in outer space. It said, the spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So what would you have in outer space? Waters. See? These are all elements. You understand? So there's other scriptures that tell you that there's waters above the firmament in this chapter. And there's other scriptures to prove that. All right? We just try to get to the point. We're pertaining to the Sabbath. We'll get there, Lord willing. Verse 3, and God said, let there be light. So this was according to the Most High, through Christ. The first thing which he will create through Christ will be what?
Light.
The sun or the moon?
Light. The sun.
Everybody clear or unclear? Who think the brother's right by the show of hands? Who think this Nehemiah is right?
He said, what did he say?
Is this talking about the sun or the moon?
No.
Who's saying that he's right? Is he right that it's not talking about the sun or the moon? Who's saying he's right?
Hold on. Can you repeat the question, please?
Nehemiah said this is not talking about the sun or the moon. Is he right? Did he put the hand there?
Yeah, okay.
How do you know he's right?
Because the one created on that on the day. We read right here, it was the sun was created. The scripture don't tell you when the sun was created.
What day was the sun created? And the moon.
Verse 6.
And we supposed to know these things. We just had the new moon. I thought you was already saying, let's go. Neely. What about the 10th day? I'm kidding, brother. So the 4th day. So this right here, this will be a natural light. A fair light. Right? So Lord dealing with a light. So you would have a natural light created before the sun and the moon. So we'll get that straight. That's why the earth, which wouldn't be created yet, it will have its own natural light, because this is the light that come off that beam on that earth, without the sun, without the moon. So you have to remember that. It said, and there was light. See, so the Lord gave the word, gave the command, and Christ went and performed it, the wisdom. So what you have right here is just light, right? It said, and God saw the light that it was good, meaning it was perfect. That's what it means. Perfect. See, so there's no, you get an explosion and you get something perfect from an explosion. So Big Bang, that got to go. That's whack science. That's of the devil. Like we always say this, man, talking about man come from monkeys. Like we primates and stuff like that, brother. Bringing you down to a level down here with animals. That's not the scriptures. The Lord ain't dealing with Darwin. None of these Europeans. Where's Darwin as we speak?
Yeah.
He's dead. He gonna face the Lord at the second coming. See, so we gonna deal with what thus saith the Lord is telling us. So verse 4 is saying, God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. So what happened? What the Lord do? You got the light, right? So then what the Lord do with the light? Go ahead, Brother Z.
As we read here, he started dividing the light day. And keep reading, we're going to call it darkness, and we call it night. So we start dividing the different two elements.
So you got the light, right? So now he would dark one part of the light would be darkened from the other part of the light, right? And this is where in this light the Lord would start creating that earth. So the earth would be in the center of the universe. And the sun and the moon and all that, the sun would go around the earth. Okay? Basic. But it's not basic to a lot of our people. So just like it was said, let's read it. The Bible explained. It said, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the what?
First day.
First day. When they say first day, meaning what?
Even in morning.
Even in morning, which you got night and day, but first what?
All day.
First whole day.
Completion.
Complete, because you got to get evening and morning, right?
Correct.
They just told us that. Now we got to get the hours, and we'll come back here. So a whole day you got to deal with night and day. Okay? That's it. So how many hours would be in a day and a night? We got to get that. That's where we're going to go to the brother who was in on creation, Jesus Christ. So we want to be very, very clear. See? So let's go to John 11. We'll come back to Genesis. So we'll get into some real science. And let the Holy Spirit teach us. And understand, Israel, what time it is. It's the Sabbath. It's supposed to be filled with joy. So, John 11, right? So John 11, we'll start about the first verse. John 11 and 1. It says, now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. So you had this time, this brother, Lazarus was sick, and this sickness would cause him to fall on sleep, meaning he would die. See, so he had sisters named Martha and Mary. Christ loved these sisters and this brother. Verse 2 says, it was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Yahushua heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God, that's Jesus Christ, might be glorified thereby. So Christ would get glorified as being the Son of the Most High by raising Lazarus back from the dead. Because Lazarus' sickness would lead him unto death. But through this miracle that Christ would perform before the eyes of Israel, it would prove that he's the Son of the Most High. So this would be a powerful miracle. And you had wicked Israelites that knew that Lazarus had died and was brought back to life. They wanted to kill this brother again. That's wickedness. You say, how can that happen? Through pride and being blinded? Having a hate for God? That's how that happens. Verse 5. Now Yahushua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. You got men in the truth calling themselves elders, hating sisters. When Christ, he loved sisters, did he not?
Yeah.
So what spirit they moving in? The spirit of the devil, pride. See, so that's what you got going on in Israel. A lot of pride, a lot of man-made doctrines. A lot of these so-called elders are deceiving many Israelites. Christ said that would happen. Because they're dealing with seducing spirits. So verse 6 says, when he had heard therefore that he was sick, he abode 2 days, still in the same place where he was. So Christ would abide 2 whole days where he was at, right? Before he would go deal with Lazarus. 2 whole days. That's right. And said, then after that, said he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late, this was the circumcision, sought to stone thee. And goest thou thither again? Yahushua answered, are there not 12 hours in a what?
In the day.
In the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. So Christ right there said it's 12 hours in what? The day. So hold that. Let's jump down to verse 38. So we don't get confused. St. John 11, same chapter, the 38th verse. Yahushua therefore, again groaning in himself, coming to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Yahushua said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he had been dead, what did it say?
4 days.
4 days. So was Lazarus dead for 48 hours?
No.
Because if you got to deal with daytime, 12 hours in a day, and Lazarus been in the grave for 4 days. Would that be 48 hours? He was dead during the morning, and then at night he woke up and he was chilling. So what would 4 days consist of?
84 hours.
84
Hours.
or 96? Do the math.
96?
Yeah.
96 hours. So that show you right there. He had when Martha said 4 days, you talking about 12 hours in the day, 12 hours in the night, 12 hours in the day, right? 12 hours in the night. That's how you get that. See, a lot of people, they miss that verse there. So when Christ was talking about 12 hours in a day, he's talking about the daylight time, 12 hours. Right? Then you got 12 hours a night. So a whole day deals with what? Night and day. Evening, morning. Right? That's in the beginning. How are we stumbling at the beginning, brother? Because you know we be stumbling at Christ. And it's hard for a lot of our people to deal with the simplicity in Christ. It's hard for a lot of our people to even get in the Bible and deal with the Bible. It's huffing and puffing. Okay? Christ come back, huff and puff. See? It's going to be serious business because the Bible is true. The Bible is true. It's not a comic book. It's not Jet magazine. It's not Ebony. It's not a book you can just play with and take it for granted. This book deals with prophecy, commandments, right? No other book on this earth is like this book. That's why we don't be dealing with other books. We don't need to deal with other books. The Bible is powerful enough, man. You see? So now let's go to 2 Corinthians. So we're going to get what a whole day consists of. We're building it up. So we'll be very, very clear, all praise to the Most High Christ, on what we're dealing with. See? So 2 Corinthians 11. Everybody clear so far?
Yeah.
All right. Second Corinthians 11. So this is the Apostle Paul speaking to the Israelites in Corinth. Okay. So 2 Corinthians 11 and 22. Say, are they Israelites? Or say, are they Hebrews? Sorry about that. So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. So Paul was an Israelite who was of the seed of Abraham and the tribe of Benjamin. Christ, our Savior, is an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Judah. Okay? They say, are they ministers of Christ, meaning servants of Christ? I speak as a fool. I am more, in labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, in deaths oft. Of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. So did Paul go through a lot of things in Christ? Suffered a lot. But that's what this walk is about. Well, we're going to suffer. We're going to be tried. There's going to be adversity. There's going to be affliction. Hardships. That's why the scripture tells us in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. This fellow was stoned to the point where he got knocked out. How many of us ready for that? See? We trip real quick. We got to get this together. Prepare thy soul for temptation. Got to get ourselves ready. You see? Verse 25 say, thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I what? Stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I've been in the deep. So we'll get that. Because he said, when he was out in the sea, it would be at night and a day. Right? So that's how we dealt with days, Israel. Whole days. Night and day. 12 hours day, 12 hours a night. Okay? To get an example, go to the Apocrypha, which we always say. The Apocrypha can be found in the 1611 of the King James Version of the Bible. So we'll go to 2 Maccabees. You can also write down Esther, 4th chapter. What she brings about days. So this 2 Maccabees 13. Everybody got it? 2 Maccabees, the 13th chapter. We're still dealing with days and what they consist of. 2 Maccabees 13 and 9. It said, now the king, this is Antiochus Eupator, the son of Antiochus Epiphanes, came with a barbarous and haughty mind to do far worse to the Jews than had been done in his father's time. That's Antiochus Epiphanes' time. Which things when Judas perceived, he commanded the multitude to call upon the Lord night and day. You see that? So what commandment did Judas give the people? to pray every day, right?
Right.
It said that if ever at any other time, he would now also help them, being at the point to be put from their law, from their country, and from the holy temple, and that he would not suffer the people that had even now been but a little refreshed to be put in subjection to blasphemous nations, meaning Edomites, so-called European. So we were seeking the Lord. Verse 12. So when they had all done this together, so what did all Israel do together? Prayed, right? And besought the merciful Lord with weeping and fasting, and lying flat upon the ground. What did it say?
3 days.
Long.
3 days long. So what 3 days long would consist of? Night and day. He told us that. 3 full days got to consist of night and day. That's what just was said to us. Judas, having exhorted them, commanded they should be in a readiness, right? So remember, 3 days long deals with night and day. You read about the time of Joshua. He prayed that the sun stand still in the midst of heaven, man, and the moon stay. And this scripture say that the sun stood still a whole day, meaning the sun didn't go down, brother. Was no night. Sun just stayed up that whole day. It was just lit. We didn't see night, but we know it's a day, even though the sun's still there. Because in the Apocrypha say, was not one day as long as two? So don't get caught up in, Alaska is distant. You count the days, Israel. You see, you know by the count when the Sabbath is. Don't get tricked up off this man's foolishness. See? So a whole day consists of night and day. 12 hours in a day, 12 hours in a night, right or wrong.
Right.
So let's go back to 2 Corinthians. So we're just getting examples. So we have these examples, these scriptures locked in our hearts, man. So we ain't entertaining spirits. Maybe the Sabbath is so-called Sunday. Think we can't start doing that?
Yeah.
We'll find ourselves in church. So what's wrong with this brother? Why he got on the yarmulke? Into some Yiddish stuff. See? That's how it happens. We be lusting and entertaining spirits. And we don't understand. We come and we tempting the Lord, playing with them. Lord put them spirits on you. End up committing suicide and all type of stuff. You see? That's serious. That's serious. We don't want to play with the Lord. So 2 Corinthians 11 and 25. We got to read this again about what Paul said. He said, thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice, meaning 3 times I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I've been in the deep. So now go to Acts. Let's read about how Paul, when he was out there in the sea waters. So in Acts 27. We still clear?
Yep.
All right. All praises. That's what we want. Lord showing us. Acts 27 and 19. It says, "In the 3rd day we cast out with our own hands the tackling of the ship. And when neither sun nor stars in many days appeared." So what happened? The sun never came out and never rise. That's what Paul said.
No.
The sun rises every day. It rises and sets rise in the east, set in the west, comes back around, right? And it's the same sun. So they couldn't see the sun or the stars, right? In many days out at sea.
Sorry.
It's-
You back a little bit. Can you repeat that again, please?
It said, "And when neither the sun nor stars in many days appeared." So in other words, Paul them couldn't see the sun in many days. We know the sun it comes up, right, and sets. It's always doing that. So they just couldn't see the sun and the stars while they was out at sea for many days. It's saying no small tempest lay on us. See that? All hope that we should be saved was then taken away. But after long abstinence, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, Sirs, ye should have hearkened unto me, and not have loosed from Crete, and to have gained this harm and loss. And now I exhort you to be of good cheer, for there shall be no loss of any man's life among you, but of the ship. So Paul was firm in this stance. He's like, ain't nobody on this ship gonna die. Ship gonna get destroyed. And it said, for there stood by me this night an angel of God, whose I am, and whom I serve, saying, Fear not, Paul, thou must be brought before Caesar, because the Romans ruled at this time, like today. This is the fourth kingdom. And lo, God hath given thee all them that sail with thee. So why was Paul firm in his stance? Because what the angel had told him, how no life is going to be lost. You think Paul, after he heard that, would start doubting? Well, I don't know. We out at sea. The tempest is strong. We going through it. What did the Lord say?
We're good. You nobody's gonna die.
That's what the Lord said. So what did this get into? Well, verse 25 says, Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer, for I believe God, that it shall be even as it was told to me. So what did that get into?
Faith.
Faith. What is faith?
Believing.
Believing in what?
Things that you don't see. The word of God.
The word of God. The Lord said kingdom coming, even though we don't see it actually taking place as of yet. We ain't see Christ come back as of yet. Are we to believe and do what he say? Yeah, that's faith. That's faith in this book. That's what y'all believe in that book?
Yep.
Yeah. That's why we supposed to apply what's written in the book. We got to have faith in it. Say, Lord, your way work. My way is not working. So let me do it your way. That's faith. So that was an example right there you should deal with in regards to faith. Say, howbeit we must be cast upon a certain island. But when the 14th, what did it say?
Night was come.
But when the 14th night was come. Remember Paul was talking about days and nights? In 2 Corinthians 11?
Right.
So it's 14th, right? It has to have a night. What about a day?
Yep.
It has to have a day.
It has to have a day. So it said, but when the 14th night was come, as we were driven up and down in Adria, about midnight the shipmen deemed that they drew near to some country, and sounded and found it 20 fathoms. And when they had gone a little further, they sounded again and found it 15 fathoms, right? So they checked the deepness of the waters out. Then fearing lest we should have fallen upon rocks, they cast 4 anchors out of the stern and wished for the day, meaning daylight. And as the shipmen were about to flee out of the ship, remember what Paul told them?
Nobody died.
Nah, so they jumping out the ship, see? Because they lacking what? Faith. When they had let down the boat into the sea under the color as though they would have cast anchors out of the fourth ship, Paul said to the centurion and to the soldiers, except these abide in the ship, ye cannot be saved. Then the soldiers cut off the ropes of the boat and let her fall off. And while the day was coming on, Paul besought them all to take some meat, saying, this day is the 14th what? Day that ye have tarried and continue fasting and have taken nothing. So the 14th, did it consist of a day and a night?
Right.
Yep.
See? So that goes to show us again. A whole day consists of what? A day and a night. 12 hours, 12 hours. We clear on that? See? So these precepts we need to get the understanding of days and what days consist of. So go to Leviticus. We'll get back to Nehemiah. Go to Leviticus. We need these basics. Leviticus 8. right. Leviticus 8:31. It says, and Moses said unto Aaron and to his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle or the congregation. See that? Moses told Aaron and his sons, look, boil that flesh. Cook that food, that offering. Because we could eat lawful flesh. And there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I've commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And that which remaineth of the flesh and of the bread ye shall burn with fire. Ye shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle or the congregation in 7 days. So if Aaron and them didn't know how to count, man, they in trouble. He said, what did Moses command them? Aaron and his sons, what did he command Aaron?
Not to go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation in 7 days.
In 7 days. Until the days of your consecration be at an end. Right?
Mm-hmm.
For 7 days shall he consecrate you. As he have done this day, so the Lord have commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle or the congregation. What did it say?
Day and night.
Day and
7
night.
days.
7 days. Now, they got crossed up. Would have been problems.
Yep.
To show you 7 days will consist of what?
Day and night.
Day and night. Evening and morning, right?
Right.
So keep them 7 days also in mind when we go back to Genesis. Okay? It says, and keep the charge of the Lord that ye die not, for so I am commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all things which the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses. So we get an account of the days and what they consist of, right? So let's go. How would a day end? Daylight. The daylight. How would that end? How would we know when it would end?
Like when the sky turned red, when the sun is down.
When the sun's down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's get that. Let's go to 2 Samuel. So that's when the Lord would create the moon and the sun. That's the 4th day. So that 12 hours, within that day, that 12 hours, once that sun go down, that's the end of that time of the day. That's evening. We ain't looking for, let's wait till it's real dark and that's evening. No, once the sun go down, sunset, that's evening. See? Because remember, the light was already given in the first day, right? Before the sun was created. Before the moon was created. So we get in 2 Samuel 3, right?
Right.
That's what we want. 2 Samuel. Chapter 3. We'll start about 32. So it says, and they buried Abner in Hebron. And the king, speaking about David, lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner. And all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner and said, died Abner as a fool dieth? Thy hands were not bound, nor thy feet put into fetters. As a man falleth before wicked men, so fellest thou. And all the people wept again over him. And when all the people came to cause David to eat meat, while it was what?
Yet day.
Yet day. What does that mean, yet day?
The sun was still up.
Huh?
The sun was still up.
The sun was still up. It's within that 12-hour day period, right? So they want the king to eat meat while it's still daytime. David swears, saying, so do God to me, and more also if I taste bread or aught else, till the sun be down. That cold or what? Because once that sun go down, what's happening?
New day.
New day, evening. You see? That's why we would celebrate the Sabbath Friday, so-called Friday, even, sundown, to Saturday. Once that sun, that's a morning, but once that sun goes down at even, that's a wrap. We're into a new day. Then we get into the first day of the week. You see? So let's get some more of these scriptures so we crystal clear on what we're talking about. All praises. Let's go to Judges. Judges. It's 14th chapter. Judges 14 and 5. Said, then went Samson down. So Samson was of the tribe of Dan. Okay, was a Nazarite. And his father and his mother to Timnah, and came to the vineyards of Timnah. And behold, a young lion roared against him. See? So as Samson going to Timnah, it's the time when we were fighting the Philistines. This brother lusting after Philistine women. So here a young lion roaring at Samson, right? It says, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. So now that Spirit of the Most High gave him mighty strength and power. And he rent him as he would have rent a kid. You see that? So with Samson's bare hands, man, he took that little young lion and tore him up, just like he would tear up a young goat, a baby goat. This brother was powerful. It said he had nothing in his hand. So how did he tear up that young lion? With what?
Bare hands.
With bare hands, brother.
Strength.
That's strength. Where that strength coming from? From above, man. But he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after a time he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. And he took thereof, meaning that honey, in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat. So they ate of that honey. But he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, meaning a wedding feast. For so used the young man to do. And it came to pass, when they saw him, that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare it me within 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. So these companions of his, right? They would have to find out this riddle within what?
7 days.
Within 7 days. Right or wrong?
Right.
It said, but if you cannot declare it me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. And he said unto them, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. So within 3 days, they still couldn't. They didn't understand what Samson was talking about. What do you think he was talking about? Jesus Christ? What? Go ahead, brother.
He was talking about how he took that honey out of the carcass of the lion. That's what he was talking about.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's saying. This out of the eater came forth meat. Who would be the eater?
The lion.
The lion. What would the meat be?
Honey.
That honey. And out of the strong, what's the strong?
The lion.
The lion came forth sweetness.
The honey.
Right. So he's saying the same thing. They couldn't figure it out. So verse 15 said, it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? So they threatened this woman of their own kind. So that's how the Philistines got down. They told her, if you don't tell us to get the understanding of this riddle, we're going to burn your house. See? Verse 16, it says, Samson's wife wept before him and said, thou doest but hate me and lovest me not. So what is she doing? What is this Philistine woman doing? Huh?
She's being deceitful.
Being deceitful. So she got to get something out of him, so she got to go and say, you hate me and this and that, and pull it from him. By the time, that's how women get. They start, they try to get what they want, so they come with the emotional side. Right? So verse 16 said, and Samson's wife wept before him and said, thou doest but hate me and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, the Philistines, and hast not told it me. And he said unto her, behold, I have not told it my father nor my mother, and shall I tell it thee? And she wept before him the 7 days. So for 7 days she was coming at him with tears. While the feast lasted. So how long did the feast last?
7 days.
And they got to explain that riddle within what?
7 days.
Within 7 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her. So he gave in. Because she lay sore upon him. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day, what did it say?
Before the sun went down.
See that? Before the sun went down. What if they would have found out on the 7th day once the sun went down?
It's the 8th day.
It's too late. It's a bit too late. Because then once the sun go down, that's even. It had been the 8th day. They had been out of it. See? What is sweeter than honey? See that? So they brought it out. You talking about honey? Because this evil woman shared it with them, pulled it out. What is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? See? And he said unto them, if ye have not plowed with my heifer, ye have not found out my riddle. So what did Samson call a woman? You always mess with my heifer. So we understood, okay, that's the only way y'all found out the riddle. So we went there to prove what? The days are counted by what?
Sun and
Night and day.
Night and day, and then the sun would dictate the end of a day, right? The evening. So we ain't looking at, oh, it's dark and the sky is dark. It's the sun we just deal with in regards to when we're dealing with the Sabbath and the ending of the Sabbath, the keeping of the Sabbath, the beginning of the Sabbath. The sun, we need the sun to understand what even is about.
Right.
So let's go to Judges 19. Judges, the 19th chapter. All praises. These some good scriptures here. Basic, but they powerful. Lord, help us out. Helping us out. So Judges 19:1, it said, it came to pass in those days when there was no king in Israel. So we're reading about the time of the judges. That there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple asses. And she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. And his father-in-law and the damsel's father retained him, meaning retained this Levite. And he abode with him 3 days. So when they say 3 days, meaning what? 3 whole days. So they did eat and drink and lodge there for 3 whole days. And it came to pass on the 4th day, when they arose early in the morning, that he arose up to depart. So this Levite ready to go. And the damsel's father said unto his son-in-law, Comfort thy heart with a morsel of bread, and afterward go your way. And they sat down, and did eat and drink both of them together. For the damsel's father had said unto the man, Be content, I pray thee, and tarry all night, and let thy heart be merry. And when the man rose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him. Therefore he lodged there again. See? So this damsel's father is keeping the Levite around for many days. Verse 8. And he rose early in the morning on the 5th day to depart. And the damsel's father said, Comfort thy heart, I pray thee. And they tarried until afternoon. And they did eat both of them. And when the man, that's the Levite, rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, Behold, now the day draweth toward what?
Evening.
The day is drawn toward evening. I pray you, tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to a what?
End.
To an end. When will the end of that day come?
Evening.
At evening, at sundown. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thy heart may be merry. And tomorrow get you early on your way, that thou mayest go home. See that? So that go to show you, in Israel, we knew about days, right? We knew about weeks. We knew about months. We knew about the new moons, full moons. We had that knowledge. What's the problem today? We lack that knowledge because we're going after other gods. That's the deal. You see? So at sundown, that's what dictates evening. Let's get the law. Let's go to the law in regards to that also. Let's go to Leviticus again. Leviticus 22. All praises. Leviticus 22. We used to struggle about the Sabbath day and be like, wait a minute, it's still light in the sky. We gotta wait till we don't see no light. It's gotta be dark. That dictates the Sabbath or the closing of the Sabbath. It was missing it. All praise to the Lord shed his light on us. So we know how to keep the Sabbath. All praises. We're prepared. So Leviticus 22 and 4. Everybody got it? It said, What man soever of the seed of Aaron is a leper, or has a running issue, he shall not eat of the holy things until he be clean. And whosoever touches anything that is unclean by the dead, or a man's whose seed goeth from him, what is that talking about? Whose seed goeth from him?
Seed of copulation.
Right. The seed of copulation. Or whosoever touches any creeping thing whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he hath, the soul which hath touched any such shall be unclean until when? Even. And shall not eat any of the holy things unless he washes flesh with water. And when the sun is down, he shall be clean. And shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food. So what dictate eating? The going down of the sun. Sunset. See, it's very clear. See, sunset. Even is dealing with sunset. Okay? Now let's go to some more. Let's go to Mark. First chapter. Mark 4. Mark 1, 29. I don't know why I said Mark 4. It's parable of the seed and the sower. Mark 1. And we'll start at 29. Mark 1, 29. It said, and forthwith when they were come out of the synagogue, they entered into the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. But Simon's wife's mother lay sick of a fever, and anon they tell him of her. Simon, was he married?
Yeah.
But they say Simon Peter was the first pope. That ain't even in the scriptures. This brother was married. And at this time, his mother-in-law, right, got sick. She had a what? Fever. And he came and took her by the hand and lifted her up. And immediately the fever left her. And she ministered unto them. See that? So who takes away sicknesses and ailments? The Lord. And that's where the prayers come in at. So all that healing and whatnot, it comes from the Most High in Christ. What a lot of our people do is rely on Esau's drugs. You see. So verse 32 says, and at even when the sun did set, there you go, they brought unto him all that were diseased and them that were possessed with devils. So we clear with what even is dealing with sunset? The scriptures have showed us, all praises, that when even comes in, that's when the sun is set. That's what we deal with in regards to the Sabbath. The Sabbath is deep, man. It's the holy day of the Lord. Scripture says it's the most sacred day. It's serious. The Sabbath foreshadows the kingdom of heaven. See what I'm saying? So how we be rolling on the Sabbath and stuff like that, show us what's with the kingdom of heaven, how we seeing it. You see? On the Sabbath, Christ went and revealed to Israel that he's the Messiah. Did he not? What's that, Luke 4? He went into Isaiah 61. See? The Most High, high and holy days are very deep and sacred. And we're supposed to be thankful. You got a lot of our people caught up with this man's holidays, which are not holy days. His days are geared to the devil. He got one coming up called 4th of July. And our people can't wait till it comes. They already fired up. And this so-called European and all that, he'll give you a ticket for lighting cherry bombs and all that, but then they selling them on the corner. Ain't that something? See what I'm saying? So this man, you gotta watch him. He is the devil that the Bible speak of. And we be following him like it's the thing to do. Some Independence Day. Come on, man. That thing got nothing to do with Israel. Right or wrong?
Right.
So it's geared to the devil. It's Masonic. You see? Christmas, that's geared to Baal. New Year's is geared to Janus. His months is named after gods. July. They worship Julius Caesar. See? So we gotta be careful because this man is an idolater. And he constantly pumping idolatry upon the people, and he wants the youth. That's right, he wants the youth. And us as parents, that's why we stay on your head. You might think it's hard and pout, and you'll see. Lord allow you to see why your parents do what they do. See, scriptures say, train up a child in the way he should go. Anybody know what training is? What's training?
Practicing.
Yeah, you training the child. They're doing things repetitious. Child want to do this. No, you're going to do this. Why? There's no why. See? So we got to get that right. Then they come and question you, and then it's too much. We got to get it right. When the command is given and it's lawful, they're supposed to chill out. You see, can he chill? Can she chill? Take this commandment, follow orders. Let's see if you can do that. We have a hard time with that. So you can just imagine you getting out there on your own. You buck wild. Can't wait to be buck wild. Say amen. So We see that children are going right to this world, right? Or wrong? Right. And conforming. Why? Because this man pushed conformity. So when it comes to the God Sabbath day, come to Christmas and all this other stuff, are they ready? They ready, man. How that happen? These are spirits. These are spirits. And I think for a lot of our people, they don't know about understand spirits, so they entertain spirits. And them spirits be jumping. And they'll go from one individual to another to another. They made a movie about it called Fallen. And we jump right out there. Take me away, Lord. Like it's Calgon. Take me away. And here Calgon, he's a cleaning solution guy. He come with his little tight little shirt, right? The bald head, earring, like he cute and clean. What they say about that? No beard. So what they saying really? With the commercial, he looks clean. So we got the beard and all that. You're unkept. That ain't clean. Shave. Right or wrong? Go bald. Here, for Christmas, I got you a big razor. Yeah, Mr. Clean. A lot of them commercials and all that stuff, cartoons, is geared to idolatry and pedophilia, all type of stuff. He know what he doing.
Hidden messages.
Yeah. Yeah, he know what he doing. But Israel be sleeping. Yeah, one time, brother with the big, he was a basketball player, part of Harlem Globetrotters. Trotters, whatever you call him, remember? Curly. Okay, what was he doing? Why they put Curly on there? How he look? Okay, then he had the big thing. What was that for? Man of color to trick who? No, that commercial wasn't about that. Yes, it was. And we shaving and bald heads and got all this, what they call it, black man's disease and all this bumps all over everywhere, brother. Shaved all off. We arguing on what do it mean to mar the beard? Here we go again. Basic stuff, brother, but they don't think the TV is there to trick the minds of many Israelites. Disney is good at it. They would hit the children with Mary Poppins. Here she is flying in on an umbrella. That's not witchcraft.
That's craft.
The children so used to, no, the witch need a broom. Then she got the umbrella. Right? So Walter Disney, all them was into witchcraft and pedophilia, and they come with their little days. That's why we be talking about Pan, that Greek god Pan. He's also known as the Baphomet androgynous. And he like little boys, right? It's Greek mythology. So what do you think Peter Pan is about? What's the real thing about Peter Pan? Those of us that's parents, what if a boy come in with pointy ears come in your daughter's window? Come on, let's go to Never Land. What you gonna do? Go ahead. Huh? But when you watch it on Disney, oh, she only going with Peter Pan, right? Come on, man. Pan's Labyrinth. See? Why Peter Pan had pointed ears? Because that's that fondness to go, man. That's the devil. Walter knew that. He just toned it down. So Pan's Labyrinth, another movie. The little horned goat, half man, half goat. He took the little girl into a little maze, right?
Yep.
What's that other one y'all know about? Tamus. Remember him on Narnia? Yeah. Wasn't he a goat, half man, half goat? Didn't he have pointy ears too? Mm-hmm. So who he blow the little pan pipe to? Didn't the little girl? He's like, and then she woke up from sleep. He's like, oh man, what did I do? What was they throwing out there? Pedophilia. Pizzagate. Yeah, okay. So they think this man playing. He not playing. The devil ain't playing. We be playing. Think the devil is all playing around. Lord say, where you been? To and fro throughout the earth. Peter said the devil was a roaring lion seeking whom he may what? Devour. They didn't say lick. It said devour. So we think the devil playing with us. Oh man, y'all too strict. Oh this, man, I can't. That's dangerous. Jesus said, this is one that lack understanding, gonna throw that wisdom off her, it be long. Because they feel like I'm bound. Fetters. Can't move how I want to move. So I'm pissed. I'm angry. So who deals with that anger? And that grudge is Satan.
Right, see?
That's it. What you gonna say, brother?
Back to that commercial, about the commercial about shaving.
Yeah.
They show him with the beard in the beginning, and then after he finished shaving, he half naked with his chest on.
That's right. Curly, right?
And guess who's known from out of these big commercials?
Okay, I ain't seen the latest.
Well, it's old, but
Okay.
back in the day, they'll show you the man with the beard. He got his beard, and he's covered his beard like, man, look, toe up. Then he'll shave it off, and guess who walk up to him and give him a hug, rub his face.
Esau woman.
Come on,
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's the same thing in the movie. All the, you notice all the superheroes, how they look.
Clean shave.
Superman, Batman, you name it, they all got that clean shaven face. And all the bad guys got what?
Beards.
Beards, they look scruffy like they just got out the trash can. So, you know, it's just, you know, that conditioning the mind.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Mind control. That's exactly what it is. And these little Greek gods, Superman, I don't know if you was finished.
No,
You know, that's Stan Lee. He's another one, a witch. Then they come with Wonder Woman. She represents the feminist movement. Running around here with underwear on. Right? Now we say, no, that's Wonder Woman. And they tell you they picked that character, the dude who made that, from Margaret Sanger. Anybody know who she is? Or was? She would come with that Planned Parenthood. See, a feminist. And then that Planned Parenthood was to attack Israelites.
Right.
See? Go ahead, bro.
Hillary Clinton worshipped her.
Exactly. 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 So that's why we ain't into all this voting and dealing with this man in his days. Because Israel, they give us the selection, man. Pick one. Come on, the choice of what?
That's
The lesser of the two evils? Then go to duality again. Because both of them are what?
Evil.
Evil. So don't care who come into office. Which one Congress stopped Planned Parenthood?
government funded.
Yeah, see? Right there. Which one of these presidents and all that came and said, let's do away with Halloween and all this psychic network and these places that's geared to the psychic and all that. Which one of them that said, let's do away with all that? No. See? So what's the voting about? It's a scam. Pick one. They give it to you. Which one you like, Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker?
Both are witches.
Well, they both witches. On the Wizard of Oz, you like the witch that was in black or the witch that was in white? See the same thing? They both witches. See? So all this man is linked up to is Satanism, Israel. That's why his high holy days, which he called holidays, are geared to the devil. That's what it's about. So the Lord blessing us with understanding to keep his Sabbath day. And giving us the spirit, our praises, to destroy devil doctrines. Because that when them doctrines is destroyed, the Lord waking up the minds of brothers and sisters, they see, man, I didn't even see that. And they come out of that stuff, man. That's love and charity right there. Scriptures are being broken down to you, share it with you. That's charity. You can't say these brothers, they don't love me. They don't care. And you spending time breaking down scriptures, going in the scripture, you can't see that that's charity. See? Be the charity right there. A lot of times we want more. We all got to give more. But we all learning. We're learning together, right?
Right.
That's what it's about. Remember, we got to learn what love is. How many of us been played in that world? Played, man. Used, abused in that world. See? Lord calling us out, Israel. So let's get back into it. Did you have a point, Zeke?
No, I was just saying that to add on with y'all, they had a video of that woman, Margaret Fagan. She was saying how to push it to the community, the black community, or Israel, put it in the churches. Tell the pastors, they got to tell the people in the congregation about that. Teach about that. They said that's how they start to spread. Start putting, like you said, start putting it in black communities.
That's
so
right.
it's like, go to the churches,
That's right.
the churches first, the pastors.
That's right. Because religion is one of their main weapons to destroy the minds of many Israelites. So it's not by coincidence somebody see you with 4 or 5 children. That's all your children? How many more you expect to have? See? They throwing
10.
stuff out there. See? How many the Lord gonna give us?
There you go.
So you shoot back. That's that wickedness. That's the wickedness, man. So we gotta be on guard for them little sayings, suggestive comments. That's why we can't be entertaining a lot of this TV, a lot of this stuff. These spirits, because they'll be saying things. You wonder, why I feel this way. Dang, you know what I was doing? I was entertaining some stuff. It wasn't being mindful in the scriptures. See? That's why we need to be taught and guided. All praises. So we're going back to Genesis. Genesis 1, right?
Right. You left off at 4.
All right, so you can read verse 5. Dang, well,
All right.
Genesis 1 and 5.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day.
And the evening and the morning was the what?
The first day.
The first day. Read verse 8.
Genesis 1 and 8. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the what?
Second day.
Second day. So how do we get days?
Even the morning.
Even the morning. The next evening, you see, and we got where the sun goes down. Once it's down, that dictates evening time, right? Now jump down to verse 13.
Genesis 1 and verse 13. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament.
Verse 13.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. And the evening and the morning were the third day.
And the evening and the morning were the third day. 19.
Genesis 1:19. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. See how the Lord driving it home? Okay, so now let's go down to we'll get verse 23.
Genesis 1, verse 23. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Verse 31.
Genesis 1:31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good.
Mean perfect. Go ahead.
And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. It didn't say 6,000 years. And this the sixth day, right? Consists of evening and morning. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1.
2 and 1.
Now I don't understand how it changes. Let's read on.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made.
So what did the seventh day consist of?
Rest.
Even and what? Morning. That's the rest day, the Sabbath, meaning rest. Even and morning, right? Read on.
And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
So is the Lord revealing the Sabbath day to us? Yeah, he making known to us his holy Sabbath. That's what Nehemiah was talking about. See how we want to talk like the men of the Lord. You see? Stay in the book. Here's all the answers. That's why we say, how are we going to fail the test and we getting the answers? That means we ain't paying attention. That means we don't care. Right? You got brothers talking about, I don't care if I burn. You know, don't chase them around with a torch. Yeah, okay. They be talking, right? That's all that is. Talk. That's dangerous talk. So let's continue.
Genesis 2 and 3. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
See that? So the Sabbath day is a rest day. And it comes in at evening. So-called Friday evening. And it's over. It closes at so-called Saturday, right? Evening. Sundown. That's how we keep it. Basic. So we all got the understanding together, right? So guess what? That's to eliminate strife. Because is Christ divided?
No.
So right there, we should be all on one accord. We go around, it ain't no, hey, brother, no, it's not. You know, we talking about sliver and all this other foolishness. We would know. See, it's nation time. So we crystal clear. We on the same page. That's what it's about. Being on the same page, being on one accord.
So you said some of them, they were saying about the Sabbath day is just 12 hours?
Yeah,
Oh.
12 hours, like just today.
Oh.
This just the Sabbath day. And evening last night, that evening, you
Oh,
could
yeah,
cook.
yeah.
That ain't the Sabbath. This is just the Sabbath. 12 hours. That's a devil doctrine. Because if we start cooking when the sun go down last night, right?
Yeah.
And working, do all type of stuff, we in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to get us destroyed. That's what the devil wants. See? We got to know how to count days, weeks, months. See? And we do it in faith, Israel. That's what we're talking about. Brothers, let's be having problems with the calendar, new moons and stuff. There'll be underlying things, Israel. That pride, hate, anger, bitterness, evil surmisings. That's what be going down. You see? So this cold-blooded. Now let's go back to Nehemiah. Nehemiah 13. Nehemiah knew about the Sabbath. So we all straight? All right. Okay. Nehemiah 13 and 15. You can read that, brother.
Okay. Nehemiah 13 and 15. In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves and lading asses.
See, so what's wrong with that picture? Go ahead, Z.
It says in this day, in this verse here, it's showing in Judah, that, in other words, people were working.
Right,
They're supposed to be resting on the Sabbath day.
right. So the people,
They were trading wine presses on the Sabbath and bringing in sheaves. They were bringing, like, in other words, when you continue reading, like victuals and ware, all that stuff, they were bringing on the Sabbath day, when the Sabbath day is, would be a day of rest.
okay. So what else? You right. They're working, laboring.
7.
They had their animals working too.
They had the animals laboring. It said they were laying asses. What it say in Exodus 20?
Cattle should not work on the Sabbath.
Right. Right. See? So they was totally disregarding the Sabbath day. Is that the carnal mind?
Yes.
That's the carnal mind. It's not subject to the law.
That's right.
It can be.
That's right. Israel just got out of captivity, the Babylonian captivity, right? That lasted for 70 years. And we had made a covenant in the 10th chapter of Nehemiah, how we was going to keep the Sabbath holy, not buy and sell, right? Right after that, Nehemiah come in and see Israel working. Got the animals out there working, laboring. Where's the refreshing at? So read on.
So it says, and bringing in sheaves and lading asses, as also wine grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens.
All manner of burdens. So they had their beasts, the beasts of burdens, laboring. They was just loading them burdens all on the animals, ass, and bringing them in the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
Which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, and I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals.
So Israel was out there selling on the Sabbath day. So if you're selling, then people are buying, right? So it's a breaking of the fourth commandment. This is one of the reasons why we went into what? Captivity for breaking the Sabbath day. You see? Go ahead.
Nehemiah 13:16. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish.
Now here the nations coming in, bringing in fish. Can we eat fish?
Yeah.
Cook fish?
Yeah.
What about catfish?
Nope.
What about shellfish?
Nope.
What about sushi? Can we eat sushi? I said, what is it?
It's like lawful fish. There's some sushis is lawful fish, but it got to be cooked.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
also sell unlawful sushi, which you can't eat.
Right, so a lot of that sushi is going, it could be lawful fish, but it's raw.
Right.
So we ain't supposed to eat the fish raw.
Right.
What about caviar?
No.
Say, what is caviar? What is the nasty fish eggs?
Hey.
Israel think they rich. I got a rich taste, caviar with crackers. What about ceviche?
No.
What about mussel?
No.
See. What about mice?
Yeah. Possum.
Then we look at that and say, ugh, but what about that pork roast? See? We supposed to say the same thing, right? It's nasty. So these are all the things we have to be taught all over again on how to eat. You see? So let's say they brought fish and all manner of ware. Read on.
And sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. 17. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah,
Meaning the leaders of Judah. Go ahead.
and said unto them, What evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day?
See that? So what did Nehemiah call evil?
Profaning of the Sabbath day.
What was
Breaking
Israel doing?
the Sabbath.
Buying.
Selling all that. Nehemiah said, listen, that's evil. You profaning the Sabbath day. That's how we're supposed to look at it. See? As evil. That's an evil thing. So Nehemiah questioned the leaders. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Did not your fathers thus?
Did not your fathers do this? Go ahead.
Did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city?
Upon us and upon this city, meaning Jerusalem.
Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath.
See that? So Nehemiah, he didn't take that, what Israel was doing in regards to the Sabbath, lightly. So he said, listen, didn't the Lord bring wrath upon our nation for breaking the Sabbath day? So he's referring to Jeremiah 17. Let's get it. He's going back into the history. Jeremiah 17. Jeremiah 17 and verse 19. We can read verse, we'll start at verse 9. Jeremiah 17 and 9.
Jeremiah 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things.
See what Jeremiah said about the carnal mind? It's very what?
Deceitful.
Deceitful. See, the carnal mind will have us dealing with deceitful lust, right? Have us out there shaking our tail, all on drugs, right? Fornicating, selling drugs, committing murder, adulteries, right? So he said, Jeremiah, just like Christ said, the heart is deceitful above all things. Go ahead.
And desperately wicked.
And desperately what?
Wicked. Who can know it?
See that? Jeremiah said the carnal mind is desperately wicked. I mean, it wants to commit wickedness. It wants to break God's commandments. That's the carnal mind. That carnal nature. So let's watch it right here. Verse 19. Let's watch it go down. Watch the carnal mind. Here's an example. Right in the chapter. He said, what the carnal mind look like? Right here in the 19th verse on down.
Thus saith the Lord unto me, Go and stand in the gate of the children of the people, whereby the kings of Judah come in, and by the which they go out, and by all the gates of Jerusalem.
See, so remember Nehemiah was talking about the gates?
Right.
Israel was coming in there, bringing into the gates of Jerusalem burdens and all that, buying and selling. They got fish, all type of stuff going on. They laboring. So Jeremiah, he was going through the same thing. See how the spirits, there's no new thing under the sun. See? So Lord said, Jeremiah, go stand right there in the gates where the kings of Judah come in. Go ahead.
20. And say unto them, Hear ye the word of the Lord, ye kings of Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, that enter in by these gates. Thus saith the Lord, Take heed to yourselves, and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth the burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day, neither do ye any work, but hallow ye the Sabbath day, as I have commanded your fathers.
As I commanded your fathers. That's Exodus 20. Go ahead.
But they obeyed not.
But they what?
They obeyed not.
They obeyed not. Why? What type of mind did they have? A carnal mind. They didn't want to be subject to the law of God. See? But they obeyed not. That's how all the wicked of Israel got down. Go ahead.
Neither inclined their ear, but made their necks stiff, that they might not hear nor receive instruction. And it shall come to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, saith the Lord, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein, then shall there enter into the gates of this city kings and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on the horses, they and their princes, the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And this city shall remain forever. And they shall come from cities of Judah and from the places about Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, and meat offerings, and incense, and bringing sacrifices of praise unto the house of the Lord.
I mean, unto the temple, which was in Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Verse 27. But if you will not hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, then I will kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it shall devour the places of Jerusalem.
The palaces
of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched.
It shall not be quenched. So did we listen?
Nope.
Did the kings of Judah listen?
Nope.
So what fire did the Lord send amongst us? That how our gates got burnt down, the temple.
Babylon.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Babylon.
That's right. That's right. Right with the Edomites. We didn't listen. So see what Nehemiah is drawing it, all this wisdom from the history. He's saying, didn't our fathers do thus? Right here. So let's go back to Nehemiah. They was repeating the thing that they shouldn't have been doing, breaking the Sabbath. You see, so that's why he's bringing out the scriptures to show Israel through Christ that, look, the Sabbath consists of 24 hours, evening in the morning to evening. See, 12 hours in the day, 12 hours in the night. A whole day consists of night and day. There is no 12-hour day Sabbath.
Right.
See? So we're in Nehemiah 13 and 17.
Nehemiah 13 and 17. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, What evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us, and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass, that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath.
So what is that telling us right there? Since all that information we got, what is that telling us?
What it's telling us is that what this brother Nehemiah do before it began to be dark, because right when it would begin to be dark, meaning the sun will go down, would be even, the Sabbath will be. So obviously at this time, the Sabbath wasn't in yet, and so Nehemiah was instructing the people to be ready or prepare, like the brother said, because the Sabbath was coming in.
Right.
So sixth day. They were still in the 6th day.
Right.
And once that sun was set, now you are in the Sabbath day.
Exactly. Showing us right there, you can add to it that the Sabbath started at what? Evening time, sunset. Right?
Right.
And so you got the sunset. Once the sunset goes in, it's the 7th day. So you got evening and morning. Right? What are you going to say?
Just like the brother was saying, when we read this verse, it show you like how Nehemiah had great regard for the Sabbath. He didn't play with the Sabbath. And we should have that same spirit where we already making that preparation. We're not out playing, looking like, okay, well, I got 5 minutes. No, we got to really look and have that Sabbath in high regard.
That's right.
How this brother had that spirit, and he was checking the people like, nah, it's getting ready to come in, he's shutting it down.
That's right. Let's tell us that, let's get this here. Hold that. So let's get an example in Mark. We'll get an example in regards to Passover. And we're gonna hear like the same language in Mark 15. And 42.
Mark chapter 15 and the 42nd verse. It says, And now when the even was come.
Meaning evening was coming in. That's what it's saying. Okay, evening was coming in. Go ahead.
Because it was the preparation.
Because it was the preparation. So remember, we dealt with the preparation, right? In regards to dealing with Passover, which be the 14th day. Because once evening came in, that sun went down, it's the 15th day, it's Passover. So it's letting us know that even was coming, right?
Right.
Because it was the preparation, go ahead.
That is the day before the Sabbath.
That is the day before the Sabbath. Because when would the Sabbath, this Sabbath would be the Passover. When would that come in?
It will come in at the evening.
At the evening. The fourth, exactly. See? And the Passover is also called a what? A Sabbath. It's the same thing with the 7th day of the week Sabbath. Keep the Sabbaths from even to evening. Ain't that Leviticus 23?
Right.
So how's that thing being spun? Through the devil. Through the devil. Man is not keeping it basic. This is basic, right?
Right.
So we had to deal with this issue before, years ago. That doctrine tried to come in here. I was around on the conference class. This brother come talking about it's the same thing. The Sabbath is 12 hours. He's going to try to go to Exodus 16. Say, here we go. Here you go. Bro, I've been doing my research. Well, you better search again, because that's what research means. To research. Search again. See? You trying to slide that thing in there. Say, brother, man, humble down, brother. You know what I'm saying? We're a church.
Church.
Christ ain't divided. See? But he want to go in there and strive. The Lord revealed to him some new stuff. Okay. It'd be amazing, brother. How does this come about? But some brother on his porch, under the sun, looking at it and saying, on the phone with some other brother, coming with the book of Enoch and the book of Jubilee and Jashir, and then now we entertaining the thing, and then
Doctrine.
we getting caught out there. See? So we just keep it basic. The things we learning is deep enough. What that scripture say, more things are showed unto you than what?
Then men do understand.
That men understand. See? You got Israel today, brother, get so deep and say, when you read Luke 4 or in Genesis, who was Eve dealing with? Oh, she was dealing with the white man.
Yeah.
Esau was around doing Genesis, brother. How you get that in there, brother? Because that's them breakdowns coming from Satan. And these same brothers go out there grilling and all that on the Sabbath day. And then call you a Pharisee if you correct the doctrine. And that's love. So why are we getting upset and angry? Because the philosophies and doctrines is getting checked. So y'all see how that go right with like Nehemiah? All praises. Let's go back to Nehemiah. There was one time in the history where Judas and them stopped chasing the enemy. It was the day before the Sabbath. They said, hold on. It's going to be a lot of work. We got to chill. The Sabbath coming in the next day. That's deep. That's deep. So all this is for our learning. So Nehemiah 13 and 19. We'll read that again.
Okay. Nehemiah chapter 13 and the 19th verse. It says, and it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath.
He said, and I charged, meaning commanded, that these gates should not be open till after the Sabbath.
Yeah.
See? That's that following even. Sabbath over at sundown, then the gates open up, right? Back to regular business. See? Go ahead.
And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice.
See, so you had the merchants, these nations still out lodging outside of Jerusalem. Right?
Yeah.
That's the temptation. You know them gates are open. They'll be buying and all that on the Sabbath. We can deal with this business. Trying to catch up to Israel, right? Watch what Nehemiah did. Go ahead.
21. Then I testified against them, and said unto them, why lodge ye here about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
See that? So Nehemiah, thinking about, I was shy. Nehemiah said, you do that again. He the governor. He was going to do what?
Lay hands on
He
you.
was going to lay hands on him and anoint him.
No.
So the men of the Lord was no joke, right?
Right, brother. Standing strong.
Standing strong. Look, stern. Don't do that again. I see you around these gates. It's time to get busy. See? So that go to show you, man, the kingdom. You think these nations be working on the Sabbath and all this? Nah. It's going to be Trump type. You don't hear no more, no ho, ho, ho. None of that. Trick or treat. None of that. Them days is over, brother. Them days is over. Days that's geared to the devil. Now, how many scary movies and horror movies they make after they hella days?
A lot of them.
Silent Night, Deadly Night. Halloween. See? Right? What's that other one? April's Fool's Day. They got a bunch of them. See? Prom night. You know, our children ain't supposed to be dealing with prom night. What's that about? Fornication. That's some crazy business. Here the daughter, now she want to put on a dress for prom night. All throughout the year of the school, suspenders and all type of stuff. Going to school with a teddy bear and some house shoes and some underwear on. So the older sister don't even go to high school with underwear. The teddy bear with some tights under the underwear with a teddy bear in their hand.
Oh man, that's the 80s.
And a lollipop with their tongue in their mouth. Wasn't that the 80s?
That's the 80s.
See? That's what this world got our sisters doing, out at the beach naked, right?
Yep.
Why they don't see nothing wrong with that? Bathing suits. But it really bikini and what? Panties and bras, right? Tinkerbell again. They know how to slide it in there, right? Let's read on, brother.
All right, the bottom of 21, it says, "From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates, to sanctify the Sabbath. Remember me, O my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy."
See that? So why did Nehemiah say, "Remember me, Lord, remember me doing this what I did"? When Nehemiah helped sanctify that Sabbath day, he was in there assisting Israel. So why did he say, "Remember me, O Lord"?
He knew about the resurrection.
He knew about the resurrection. See? Rewards come about for keeping the Sabbath day. A lot of our people are not mindful of the resurrection. So that's why they out here doing what they want to do. Living it up. Living it up. Want to be these rappers out there getting a record deal. A lot of them rappers passing away, are they not?
Yeah.
Out the blue. Out the blue. See? So let's get this. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. We have to be mindful of the resurrection. Christ can come back anytime. See? So 2nd Ezra 8:55. Nehemiah said, "Remember me, O my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy." That's what we want, to be spared. We want the Lord's mercies to shine upon us at Christ's second coming. We can't be talking about Christ coming back. I thought your Sabbath only lasted for 12 hours. Right? That ain't gonna cut it.
Got it.
Christ be like, "You ain't read Genesis?" Let me read this. 2nd Ezra 8:55.
It says, "And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish."
See, so that's heavy. So remember, Ezra wanted all Israel to be saved. See? And the Lord said, you got to stop, Ezra. You got to stop with that. All Israel ain't going to be saved because all Israel don't love the Most High in Christ. See? We be too busy sometimes trying to bring all Israel in. No, let the Lord deal with what He going to deal with. We supposed to be dealing with what we need to be dealing with and be focused in that. But Satan's going to take us off the path. We lose focus. See? The Lord be trying us in the fire. We can't count the persecutions and like it's something strange. It's coming. And it be coming strong because we're following Christ. The devil know that. The devil know that. The minute you start going in, them scriptures, here they come. With spirits on them. Flip it on you. Oh, you coming with the drama. And they filled with the drama. Spinning things up. Twisting your words. Right? That's what happens. And then you being spoken evil of. They wicked. They no good. They the devil. Right? That's why I left the church. Come on, man. You check out what they doing. They doing righteous things? Those that lead? No. Come on. See how it's spun. So do they not separate themselves from our company?
Yeah.
That's in Luke 6. Christ said that would happen. See? So there's no way we should be in here entertaining that stuff and looking at each other as evil and wicked. That means you've been poisoned. You see? You've been entertaining too many things of the devil. That's what we got to be on guard of. And we got to quit worrying about the multitude. That's still with us. That's what this is going to tell us. Look what the Lord, we telling here. Ezra, who are we? Let's read on.
2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 56. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways.
See that? So you got a lot of Israelites. The grace is there, but guess what? They ain't about keeping the Most High laws, right?
Right.
You think they losing any sleep?
No.
Who be losing sleep?
We do.
Us. Worried about them. Well, what should we really be worrying about?
Us.
Thank you. Or we'll be with them.
Let's go.
We be on the wrong path. Look, snap out of it. Lord say, look, that's what He's going to tell Ezra. He ain't telling Ezra He's going to the kingdom. Ezra's still worried about all Israel. Hold on, man. Can this happen, this and that? When we breaking commandments in here, wait a minute. See how that pride creep in real quick? We be way out of control. And talking about, what about this person? And what about you, brother? What about you, sister? Like we got it Trump tight. See, this is exactly what Israel be doing. Taking scorn at the law. They don't be caring, man. Go ahead.
Verse 57. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous.
See, a lot of Israelites, what were they doing? Coming at the who?
The righteous.
The righteous. The prophets. The men and women of the Lord. They wasn't losing sleep. Read on.
And said in their heart that there is no God, yea, and that knowing they must die.
So does Israel know they must die? Yeah. The Lord gave each generation straight commandments as such as they came. Right? See? But you find out that a lot of Israelites, they don't like Christ. They don't like the Most High in Christ. They don't believe. And they're going to come and give you the problems. We can't be doing that, giving each other problems. And we can't be. Say, blessed are the peacemakers. It didn't say, like my brother was bringing up, blessed are the troublemakers. Cataracts again. Let me cause trouble. Look what Christ said. You say, golly, what are we, why is there strife? What's going on? Right. That's what it is. Spirits. Go ahead.
2nd Ezra 8 and 59. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you.
That's the kingdom. See, the kingdom was told that Christ, the angel, the Lord was saying to Ezra, you're going to get the kingdom at the resurrection. You're going to get immortality. That's what was aforesaid. Go ahead.
So thirst and pain.
And so what?
Thirst and pain are prepared for them.
And thirst and pain are prepared for them. What's the thirst and the pain consist of? What is it called? What did John the Baptist call it? What did John the Baptist call this thirst and pain? The baptism of what?
Fire.
The baptism of fire. You got Israel out there as we speak talking about that baptism is a good baptism. That's a purging. One of these alphabet groups, alphabet groups that's dealing with the Book of Enoch, Jubilee, Jasher, Same brother talking about flee Babylon. See? The angels Satan and his angels disguised as planets. Bugged out, man. Repent. Fallen angels, repent. See? So what else it say, brother?
It says, "For it was not his will that men should come to naught, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee, and if few like thee. Then answered I and said."
So Ezra was saying, he was told about the resurrection and immortality.